Hey guys, sorry I can't be there today. I'm out fighting for you to get Adobe Creative Cloud. But what I wanted to go over the um, palette assignment that you had and just walk through it with you because there's many different ways it could be done. And I didn't expect this to be easy. So let me start with probably the easiest way to do this, which is a really good place to start any time, and then work out a bit more complex those little complexities later on. So what have we got here? Okay, these are a bunch of squares, and each one is a different color, but it's not some random color. I'm being very specific about the color palette I want, and it's laid out right here. This is my array of colors. Here are all the colors I want. This is a list. An array is a list. Here's the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, the fifth one. And remember, an array indexes these from 0 to, this would be 4. So 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's just the way it does it. So 0 through 4 are the numbers, but there's actually 5 things on the list. Okay. And then once we have that set up, we've got a loop down here that says, hey, basically all this says is, hey, go through all the stuff on the list and do this right here. Because look, var I equals 0. We started at 0. That would be 0. Palette.length, the length of it is 5 because there's 5 things in it. So go through it, start at 0 and go through it 5 times. Wonderfully helpful loop. You end up writing a lot of these. Space. Okay, that's great. Now I want to add more than one palette. So let me go over here, and here I'm going to steal some from this. I put a link to this this nice little data set. Just got a whole bunch of palettes in it. 200 of them if you want to go crazy. I'm going to copy a couple of them, bring them over here, get them all set up here. Kind of a mess. Just get it ready. This first one, then, we're going to have to name it palette 1. Okay, now the next one's going to be palette 2. This little shortcut I'm doing is Command J. It basically just means join the next line with this one. Just gets rid of, hey, I just lost it. Okay, it's just nice and handy. Oops. Make sure I have a semicolon. Same here, var palette 3. Join. Great. So I have 3 palettes. Okay, I'm getting some errors here down because I don't have a palette variable anymore. So just to make it go away, I'm just going to name it palette 1 for now. And it still works. Great. Okay, cool. We haven't broken it. I'm going to do this with key pressed at first because it's just the easiest way before we deal with any buttons or anything like that. So before I do anything else, I'm going to just set up that function. Actually it's key typed, and that's going to be the event that triggers the functionality that we want, the stuff we want to happen. So function key typed. I'm not saying key pressed. You can look up the minor details between those two, but key pressed basically means like any key on the keyboard, doesn't matter what. Sort of. Key typed is when you want to check for a specific key. Although key pressed, I think you can use for like arrows and stuff like that. It's all there in the documentation. So on key pressed, we're going to want to switch to a new palette. Well, here's a situation where, now how do we do that? If we just say fill, it's going to get switched right back there after the key, right back to number 1 after the key is pressed. So hopefully this is familiar to you. Anytime we want something to change color, triggered by some event or time, we need to create a color variable for it. So in this case, we're going to create a special variable for the palette, the array of colors. So I'm going to say, I'm going to create one up here, var, I'm going to go current palette. And that is just going to store whatever the current palette is, and it just gets changed every time you hit a key. So the current palette is going, we'll start it at number 1. We'll just say that, because number 1's already been declared up here, so I can just put it right in there below it. Okay. I'm going to change this to curve palette, and it's working, and we can actually really test if it's working by what if we change current palette to number 2. Oh, I spelled palette wrong up here. Palette, Yay, okay, so there's number 2. Palette 1, palette 2, palette 1, palette 2. What does 3 look like? Let's see. Oh, okay, very nice. I'm going to start at 1 again. Okay, now down here, I want to put in my functions. The if statement that's going to check for which key has been pressed. I'm going to say if key. Key is sort of a special variable that keeps track of which key on the keyboard has been pressed. So I'm going to say key, and I'm just going to use numbers, 1, 2, 3. You can do W, L, X, T, R, whatever you want. So I'm going to say 1, if the key that was just pressed is 1. And notice I'm using triple equal signs instead of double, just to be extra safe. Double might work just fine, but sometimes in JavaScript it tries to evaluate if a string is a number. It tries to compare them together and go, yeah, close enough, something like that. So just to be super careful, you can use triple all the time if you want. Okay, let's get that open and going. Okay, so if the key is 1, no, let me hit 2 because we're starting at 1. Let's change that. Okay, if the key pressed is 2, I'm going to switch it to the second palette. Current palette equals palette 2. Yeah? Think it's going to work? Let's try it. And we're going to press the number 2. Oh, wait, no. Gotta go over here. Press number 2. Yeah, nice. So now to add the other numbers, it's, well, if, else, if, sorry. Now we're going to add an else if key equals 3, oops, quotes. Need some more space down here. Okay, it's 3. Current palette equals palette 3. Okay, let's try this. 2, 3. Yay! Now we got to make one for number 1 so that we can go back again. Just so they're nice, neat order, I'm going to switch this to the else if, kind of go backwards. Hopefully not too confusing. If key equals 1. Okay, let's clean this up. Oh, hey, something's wrong there. Oh, I never told it what to do. That's why we like to tidy up our code, because if it looks funky, we know what's funky. Okay, current, no, that's not right. Yeah, current palette equals palette 1. Yes, okay. Now let's test it. Okay, 2. No, one more time. Click over here. 2, 3, 1. 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 2, 1. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Just made a program, a colorful print. So that's a really basic way to do it, and if that's the way you did it, that's perfectly fine. The most important thing with this lesson was to start to understand how to use arrays, and most importantly, this thing right here, this for loop that you use over and over again that just says, just do this to everything on the list. Just do this to everything on the list. Now do this to everything on the list, and you just copy and paste that loop over and over again sometimes. So let me stop that there, and then maybe I'll do another one next where I incorporate a button. So you have some sort of user interface going on. Okay, bye-bye.